system that you are teaching, and tell a little bit how you prepare your students.
The system called KAPAP, which means Krav Panim El Panim. Krav means combat and face-to-face combat. It's not my system. If you check the old history of CQB, close quarter battle, or CQC, close quarter combat, when you have to train soldiers in a short way, you must create techniques that they will be very short, very effective, and to cut from the martial art a lot of the. I don't think that it's no need. Personally, I think it's need. But military don't want to spend time to train soldiers more than a few months, and this is why CQB schools they exist in different names, and KAPAP is the Israeli term for face-to-face combat. When I became a trainer from traditional martial arts to what we see as a security forces and combative units, there's a lot of need that if you look, for example, for a combat soldier, they have a lot of vest on them that only to dress all of these kind of uniforms will prevent from a normal soldiers to react like a martial artist that we don't carry nothing. When you carry like a ceramic or handgun, plus you need to remember that, for example, if you have a handgun or a gun and the handgun is in your right leg, or in this case, like in the left, you don't want that left leg to be forward because I can disarming you, I can take it. So all the concept for CQB start, for example, with a very simple language like support side, strong side. So the strong side will be where I carry my firearm, my baton, my pepper spray, and all the terminology, all the language is changing. So with the time that I teach for many years, this kind of material has become very systematic, and that's how it created a new system that it was not planned to be a system. It was just a short way of anything that I know, and to make it for security forces. And that's how the system actually KAPAP started to be very popular around the world, maybe because the amount of time that you need to invest is not like to study Kung Fu, for example, that will take you decades of years. So that's why it became very popular, because in today's life, the people want to be much more fast about everything. They want to be fast, and they don't want to invest so many hours on the study. Later on, when the KAPAP became civilian, I could bring other values to the system that exist in the traditional martial arts.
Could you mind to demonstrate us some cases when the opponent has a gun and he is attacking you and you have just a knife? Can you show different cases that you can have?
In that matter, it's very depend. First of all, if the gun is inside the holster, put it like a Mexican holster. Yeah, he's a Mexican, by the way. Ivan is my friend. He's originally Mexican, but this is called Mexican holster. When you don't grab a real holster, it's a very, very good holster. You do not have the holster because the draw will be very, very fast. And 1 second. So as long as the gun in the holster and I have the knife in my hand concealed in any way that you cannot see it, it will be too fast for him to do anything against the knife. And the biggest mistake will be to try to approach the gun. Because when he wasting his time to approach the gun, I will already do the cuts. So what he needs to do first, if I have a knife and I surprise him, is to push me, for example, first push me, and then to create the distance, because if he takes the gun first, it will be very fast. And that's why a lot of good shooters, their biggest mistake is that they try to approach the gun. If you want to approach the gun, if I want to approach the gun when he has like a knife, the first thing I want is to create an L. So when he come on that line, I create the L and move him away. So when he approach, I want to push him, and now it's a time for me to approach with the gun and do other things. And as a knife man, and that's made by what we call the Tuller rule. Tuller was a sergeant in the US that made the rule in one of the police conference, and he claimed that from 7 meter, 15 yard, the knife will win over the gun, because the knife is very easy, and until he will draw the gun, we will already get stabbed from the knife man. And that's why in the US it's very popular to talk about the Tuller rule that it exists for so many years. And now everyone tried to show me that the guy has a gun and he's stabbing. And this is again a completely different, it's a very old, and the biggest mistake is the police will get died, or the gunman, because he tried to reach to the gun too fast. And also in some cases, like in Israel or in many countries that I teach, not all the people carry a loaded firearm. So when I want to take my firearm out, it's still not loaded. If I push the trigger, it still don't deliver bullets. So to start to load the gun is no matter which system you're using. When my two hands busy here on the gun, you're already killing me. So if the gun is loaded and I approach, I might even grab the gun and get as a damage control, grab the gun. He will cut me, but he cannot try to push the gun to my body. I will have a mess up hand hospital, but I can finish the job. Of course, I don't want to trap the knife, and if you do like an ice pick or something much more easy, I might catch and then draw my gun. I might just disarm, disarming. I might even sometimes load it or just disarming his face by using it. So there's a lot of things that as a gunman I will do against a knife. On the same time, it's always against each other. There's many things that the knife man will do against the guy with the gun. Most problem is if you will let me come to this distance. From this distance, you try to say boom and shoot me. Boom. You try again. Boom. And even if his boom is first, take a look, his boom is first. Because even a dead man, he can still kill you. That's why one of the principles, watch out, this is what the Japanese call zanshin. When you shoot me, you want to move aside, push me away, so your life are not on a risk. But if you shoot me as much as you want, and I'm over here, so it's a 1-on-1. You kill me and I kill you. And in that kind of a fight, in reality, you don't win. Because you cannot, it's not like a tournament. He shoot me first. He shoot me and he shoot me in the shoulder. And I stab him in the neck. Which one is more value? And that's why, again, when you talk about combative, you always talk about damage control.
What you are going to do if the opponent has a gun and you have empty hand?
There's many methods. I will take him over that wall. Because we have a cute kid over there, so I don't want the kid to get hurt. So the first method is go to 90-60, and it's called the cross system. This is when the guy, you can see it in hate crime, when the guy say hasta la vista baby, and he shoot. So when Ivan tried to blow my head and he say hasta la vista baby, so that's a very fast gun disarming that does no anything to worry you. And this is again, you hit the gun. Many times people say, try to shoot my head when I move. 1, 2, 1. It's very difficult to shoot a head target. This is why also, if you try to shoot head target, when I have a knife, he'll get stuck because my move, it will be hard for him to move after a small target. This is why a good gunman will keep the gun over here. So whenever I move, because you have to escape from me. If you run to me with a knife, I'm moving, so I need to be able to move like kids that play tag that he cannot touch me. You know, if he cannot touch me, he cannot stab me. So I have to run away like a tag game that he cannot touch. Now, with a head target, it's very easy. And we call that system the cross. The first cross, you hit on the gun, you hit on the hand. Over here, I hit on the tendon and I hit on the ulnar nerve. If you see the ulnar nerve, it's very painful. So when you hit it strong, you hit it. And the first hit, it's this one. So when you make the other one, that's why it's called the cross. So he will lose. Sometimes the gun is a small gun. So the barrel is here. So I cannot hit on the gun. So you must hit on the hand. And that's a different system. Same principle, different system. You can help us. So this is 90-60. But I always teach it to my students because my friend at the age of 75, somebody pulled a gun on him and he did the same gun disarming. So, and by the way, I must do it slow because I can hurt his hand. So this is the modern version, is that you move the gun, you hit the hand, and you hit his face. And minimize economy of motion. I don't want to start to move because you telegraph. Anything that I do, I telegraph. So from here, up, and I do this. With experience, when the students gain good experience, they can do this and start to move. But if you try in the first lesson, second lesson, immediately put all the moves, it's too much. Now, if the guy is really a gorilla, and when you move it, you didn't move, my elbow comes. Okay, and again, right now, I put on Ivan what we call, I crucified him, so can you move? No. And I can break his neck because I crucified him. And that's where more and more elements, coming into the system. There's no one move, it's a build up from this to this to more and more moves that when you do it, you have a problem, you have a problem, you have a problem, you have a problem, and only by that you will be able to create better chances to survive. We're not life insurance. This is not a life insurance, but from 10 situations, you maybe survive 2. Mm-hmm. And this is what people need to remember. Martial arts, self-defense, combative, it's like any soldier. We train the best soldiers, the best things, and they go to the war, and some of them are falling dead. Not everyone stay alive. So this is a fact that also in the street fight, we must remember. Not everyone will be survive.
Let's look at the another one situation. For example, attacker is attacking you from the back side with a gun. What you are going to do?
Okay. The first thing when you feel a gun in your back, it's a good sign. Why? Because if you want to kill me, you already got the bullet inside your body. So when I feel the gun, it's a good sign because he still needs me alive. He wants something from me. It's no matter what. He wants to rape me, to mug me, to kidnap me. It's not a good situation, but it's a better situation that he just put a bullet in you. So when I feel the gun, it's important also where I feel the gun. Do I feel it on that side, on the middle, or on that side? If it's on that side, and I turn that way, you cannot really cross a lot. If it's here, in that side, and I cross, right now you got a full shot. So sometimes I will prefer in that matter, when the gun is in this side, just to do this and turn that way. If the gun is in the middle, this is a 50-50. I can turn this way, and I can turn that way. Whenever I turn in between his hand, what we call in relative position, so when I turn inside and anything I want to do to him, he can do to me. He can punch, he can headbutt, all the struggle, even if I want to elbow him, he might block it. And now it's a struggle with a guy with a hand that I could prevent if I go that way. Mm-hmm. If I go that way, and when I'm here, I immediately can put the bow and arrow. The bow and arrow is a very common move in martial art. that you can see it even when the guy holds me here. That's a bow and arrow. Bow and arrow is from here and immediately. From here, I can go to all Wakikatame and all other gun disarming. So the only reason, for example, I want to turn outside because outside is always better to fight with him. See? But inside is when I fight, you have all the other opportunity, not only me. The only way, if Nathan come and help me, I'm over here with a friend, and when I do this, this is not what I want. This is not what I want. And this is why, in that manner, I might do this and perform it inside, okay? Thanks. So, the only to decide if it's inside or outside is also has a lot of meaning. It could be that I will put the gun for you, that the guy lied to you, and he has a finger here, but the gun is in the back. Mm-hmm. And again, all of those things are things that can be happened. When I'm over here, it could be his finger. It could be also, we go a little bit far, that I feel that he pushed me with the hand, and the gun is retained in the back. So there's no way for me to turn this way and reach the gun. And this is, we do it again. If he retain the gun and he hold me here and he push, and I want to do all of those gun disarming, but the gun is here. And that's why, again, in all of those methods, I prefer to do this. By standing here, he cannot shoot me. He needs to shoot his body. That's where I will immediately grab the gun after the turn. So when he has the gun here, I might come here and immediately grab the gun. Now, all of those things are things that are important before all the performance of those kind of things. Because if I turn this way, the gun back, it will be very difficult for me to control the gun. And this is why whenever I have this, I come here and then I start to go to the gun, depending on how I'm going to disarm it. Again, like what I did now, for example, I did this, and no matter, I took over the gun, and immediately I go for this. Take a look from this moment, how long it will take me if we fight to finish the fight. Immediately I'll give a fatal choke. And then there's much more that I can do for him. Okay? So when I turn, it's not only the turn that I turn, and now he can start maybe to fight or to fix the gun. So when I turn, I must immediately go for vital point. Okay? And I will hit him on a vital point to take his attention and to slow him down so I can do the control. Now, if he's here, and I can do like 1, 2, and again, gun is here. If the gun will be on the same thing, too much here, he can transfer to the other hand. Yeah? This is why when you do it, there's no way the gun will be there. And these are all manner that start, and it's a few days course to talk about the evolve and the evaluation of gun disarming. And sometimes I say to people, don't show a fool a half work, because many times people see something and immediately they run in a conclusion. But gun disarming, you have to understand a lot before you understand really how to do them. And you have to see the old ways, because then you see the progression and why we do it the way that we do now, because we found out the mistakes. And there is always mistakes, but how the students know, you must teach them through the mistakes. Let them do it, teach them the mistakes, show them the mistakes. So when Ivan is putting me like this, and I will do the disarming this way, and I'm over here, and I perform this disarming because people video it, and I know that in martial art there's no integrity. And a lot of new masters today, I can tell they buy my DVDs or whatever. So I knew they were going to perform it. And the video, and they ask me, of course it's a gun disarming, but it's a wrong one. But why should I show to somebody that I never met in my life everything that I know? All I show to my guys, I have knowledge. If you want to study, first you have to be very good human. Then I start to teach you. And I talk again about this one. We call it the assassination. If I do this way, and I disarm it, nothing breaks. Put the finger in. If I do it this way, finger is breaking. And that's a different way. Now, in the other one, I stay on the ground, which is a mistake. So when I'm over here, if I do this, I already got the gun by a finger lock. So when I attack him, I have so many attacks on him that if one is failed, if I don't have the finger lock, so he has this finger in because they want to shoot. So I do this. And now, why should I stay on the ground? When he go down, I go up. And then I disarm it. So this is how, again, gun disarming start to be evolved. With the one gun, sometimes against two guns on the same time. And sometimes you have other weapons. And that's where you start to teach situational awareness. How all the situation, where are you, how much space you have to work. There is a big space over here that I can push you and some, I don't know, pin will get inside your back. So that's what I'm going to use against you. And this is why there's no one technique for gun disarming. And I explain again why. If the gun is here and you do all those, he will go back. And you will find yourself getting shot because you hold one side, he push, and if you get the second. The problem is that you find those things with actually experience. But with same gun disarming is here, and now you do the same thing, now the gun disarming can work. And this is where, again, all the techniques will be good and bad. It depends on the situation too. If you want to put a screwdriver, you need a screwdriver. But if you want to break the wall and you try with a screwdriver, it will take you 10 years. But if you take a hammer, it will take you 1 hour. And this is where people, they see techniques, but the techniques is only a tool. In the question if this was the right tool for that moment.
So let's look on the another one case. For example, you have a knife attack and the attacker made the knife against your neck. So what you are going to do in this situation?
I don't touch the gun right now. I'll show you. So when the knife is here, normally they also will hold you here in the arm. Or sometimes they even put the arm inside to put it. Okay? Now, I will show you something. 1 second. I will show you something. When somebody hold you like this, he wants something from you. Either you are hostage or he try to do something. He don't try really to kill you in that moment. He wants my wallet, he wants something. So I have to cooperate. I might give him the wallet. I say, here's the wallet. When he go to pick, I will draw my gun. Why should I draw the gun in that moment that the knife is here? Now, if I have to deal with a knife, it's the same like a choke. If Ivan turned to me, this the other way, he choke himself. You see, do again. So when the knife is here, it's the same. So when Ivan hold the knife to me, you will see many times people do this and they go under the knife and they bring the knife back to him. So now Ivan will try to do that moment, okay? Yeah, and take it out and bring it to me. Good. So, but now I will start to see like to hold it like a good hold. Can you try again? Plus look. I will add my other hand and slaughter him. And this is again, because many times when you see the knife here, the last thing that I want is to start to move against the blade. And that's the biggest mistake that most people, they do and they run here. When, for example, where is the risk in that moment? Here, that's the risk. So when Ivan is here, I'm doing this. Where's the risk now? Is away. Even doing nothing, I have the gun. Because I have 2 points of contact and a push and pull. Now, when Ivan is here, I do this. That moved the knife away from me. Okay? So when he put the knife to me, I move it. And now I turn the blade. Now whatever I do, it's my decision. I don't need to kill him, I can only disarm him. The problem starts when the knife is here and he is here. Okay? And now I will do another move. I feel him here, I negotiate with him, and in one moment, and the knife is out. And what I did to him, I did a move that's called salsa. So, knife is here, I push the knife, I turn in. If the knife stays in his body, you can only deliver it. If not, I keep the salsa and I disarm him, for example. So, it could be that I will just drop him and then I will approach my gun. Because I don't want to kill him, I will just drop him, fix my gun, aim to him, and tell him, not to move, to surround for me. Okay, I will negotiate with him. Please don't do nothing, okay? What do you want? And your wallet. Boom, 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 boom. There's no way he can see it, And that's another subject. Hold it as strong as you want. He's in a dead zone. To create another dead zone, I will bring my head to him like I negotiate. Okay, mister, can you see my hand? Look, can you see my hand? No. He cannot see. Now, it's important that he will not feel my shoulder moving, and that's why I will lose my shoulder, and if you see only the elbow work, only this work, and here you are. Boom, boom, boom. I will not tell him I have a gun. I will just shoot the first 2-3 bullets on you and move it. It could be that also when I'm feeling him and I want to shoot, I will do this and then I'll shoot. Because I don't want to take the risk that this knife is here. So I will move it, crack, and then I will do it. Mm-hmm. And again, this is why the methodic is to study what is economy of motion, how to think, what is situational awareness. There's no magic move. Like many teachers try to show something, follow this. No, you have to understand the concept. If your son is here, the concept will be changed. If what you do if you have one hand, what you do if I have a gun in my back, don't need the knife. I have a gun in my back, and the guy put handcuff on me. So I'm going to turn, do this, do that, or turn, do this, do that. Yes, so I have a problem. I have handcuff. Why? Because I'm a prisoner, and the guy took me, and now maybe I'm a prisoner for 1 week, 1 month. Could be 7 years. If you check about cases, last was a Swedish doctor that he kidnapped a woman. He had a kid with her, and he held her in a basement until one day she managed to escape. So when somebody kidnaps you, not only for terror or negotiation, it could be like a mental case, and one day his alert is down. That's the day that I will react. And this is called timing in martial arts. Not every time when I feel a gun, I react. But now when I go and I feel the gun, so I'm like, whoop, grab the gun. First thing, I break the arm this way. Grab the gun. I still can move my hand. Grab the gun. Break down. The gun is strong. He stand up back. I cannot do wakikatame. This is wakatame. So if I cannot do wakatame, I'm going to sankejo and I break the hand. And this is the first break. And now I go for the second. And then I'll fix it. And that's why it's good to train also handguns with a handcuff. So you study how to load, how to change magazine, how to fix malfunction when you don't have free hand. And this is again different situations that you need to be prepared and to think. When you have handcuff, when you have two enemies, when you have three enemies. All of those things are things that you have to be aware, and you are not a magician. At the end of the day, it's all work by concept of damage control and what you have to lose. If it's a money, I don't have nothing to lose. It's only money. But if it's start with the life, I have to change the priorities and the actions.
Mr. Nardia, let's look on the another one case. For example, you have the ambush attack from the corner, and you have a knife, and the opponent attacker has a gun.
You know, ambush attack is also depend on you. Normally, if okay, you can ambush everyone, but normally if I have to be alert, like when I go to different countries, I like to throw knives, and I practice even to throw stones. I was with a friend in a shooting range, and we put plates, and then I took the stones and I said, "Oh, you try first," and he couldn't hit 5 targets. Then I took the stone and tang, 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 and he said, "Okay, you don't need the gun." So a part of KAPAP is also to play, and we play by throwing knife. It's not that I'm gonna do it in the street, but when you train to throw stone, to throw knife, to throw anything that you can throw that you might find in here, even just to distract the guy to throw it. If there is a distance and I have a knife, I might conceal the knife. I might cooperate with the guy. I might conceal the knife. Many times when people you conceal, you can use like those kind of things to conceal. So I might conceal the knife here, and when the guy don't see it, and I say, "Look, I don't have nothing. I don't have this. Turn around, turn this." And then I try to pull the knife and support. This is not a knife, by the way, for concealed, because this is a big blade, so it's very difficult to conceal. But if he is on the corner and I have a knife, now the question what he is. If he is a criminal, he will act different. If he's a police officer, he will act different. If I'm in Sweden, he will act as a police officer different. So it's what do you want him to be? I show you an old case with terrorists in Israel, okay? So I will tell you. It's a very sad story. Terrorists had two knives in Israel, in the street. Iran is stabbing people in Jerusalem. So he stabbed. It's very difficult when you have a guy with two knives. What happened? A police officer was in a house. He actually come from top Israeli counter-terror unit. It's one of the most studied cases about terrorism in Israel. The police come from a police mentality. When he see the guy, he see only one knife, because the other knife, if you see, can you see the other knife? It's in the shade. So he said, "Drop the knife, drop the knife." The guy didn't drop. He shoot the guy in the leg. Boom. He dropped the knife, but he stayed with the other one. And then he's like, like every terrorist, when you catch them, they're whining like old grandma. So he's crying. The police did a mistake. He come close to him, and he gets stabbed. And I come from old generation. I explained to you, old school. I'm a police officer. He's a terrorist. So boom, 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 boom. You have no chance to raise the hand. I remember one day, our general, his name was Raful, and one soldier complained that the terrorist raised his hand, and the soldier still shoot him. And the commander was mad, and he told him, "Why give him the time to raise his hand on?" I come from old school mentality, and we shoot fast, accurate, and don't give you the chance to raise your hand up. So this whole concept is not work today. We got a problem with all those modern society. I give you an example. Situation in Israel now, we have a soldier went to prison for 1.5 years because he shoot a terrorist and he killed him. And the terrorist was already get shot and maybe lay on the floor for 5 minutes, and the soldier appear and shoot him to verify death. It's in the old days, it was the command because a terrorist might carry bombs or explosives. So even if it's injury, he can still activate them. But the modern society and people writing, like in Israel, Professor Asa Kasher, he wrote the military code of honor, and the military Americans have it. Every army have it, but it's without not disrespect the warrior code, because I teach the warrior code too, and I always teach my students, live him a life if there is a way. But in between us, it's very easy to write those codes than to obey them and to do them. And you will need to live, let's say, this great police officer that shoot the terrorist in the leg, and the terrorist had two knives. So when you see him disarming one, it don't mean that you don't have a second. And that's in the police language, we call it the rule plus one. If you have one knife, it don't mean that you have not second. If I see a gun, it don't mean that you don't have demolition, mostly in today's threat. But the modern society is the most fake and lie society. You know, we try to, all of those guys that play with knife, I call them, dancer with knife. But if I tell them, let's go to a slaughterhouse, and the photographer of today, his brother is working a slaughterhouse, and he think I'm a psycho because I want to go to the slaughterhouse to see, because they slaughter like 500 animals a day, and I want to see it. It's very important when you talk about cats and slice, and that you see how it looks like. I don't didn't say that it looks nice, but you have to build this mentality, because the fight is a very brutal, and the field of fight is very brutal. This is why today I said, no, I'm interested about teaching kids. I want to teach kids judo, jiu-jitsu, fun, laughing. I start to clean the combative field from my life, because I think that there's a time for anything. And, you know, in Israel, most of people, we've been farmers. And then, you know, from the farm, we went into the battlefield. So from one field to another, but we are farmers. It's only a necessity to keep your survival. Once you're alive, there's no reason. I don't live by mentality to go all day with uniforms and guns. And I know a lot of people that never been in a combat, but they always carry 20 knives and 20 guns. And it's okay, but for people that done it, I think that one day you will go into the next stage, and the next stage is to enjoy your life and to see that the combat is one small pan of the life. Mostly it's worth a lot for the business people. And sometimes it's funny because the US did terrible war crimes in Vietnam, but today it's a peaceful. And today you have Vietnam or Japanese restaurant in the US, and we're all friends because we have a new god. It's called money. And this is why, as an old soldier, I was never also educated to be like a killer zone and to see I'm a French Legion. I'm not into this. I'm not a soldier of fortune. I'm soldier by forcing. You know, like I was forced to be a soldier, but if not, I will be a peaceful person.
For example, such a case, you have the absolute advantage, you have a knife, you have a gun, and the opponent is attacking you, he has nothing. But of course he can take the stone or some stick from the street and attack you. So what you are going to do in this situation if you have the attack with some thing, but you have and the gun and the knife?
The problem with any fight that one of the object carry a knife or more than one knife and a gun or whatever. Let's say that it's concealed. Yes, this is concealed, but for the gentleman, and he's attacking me. So every fight is no matter now that I fight with another person. Now, from post-conflict point of view, if policemen come and he stop the fight, what the police see? 2 knives, 2 guns. So I'm going to pay a big time in prison because the street is not a battlefield. And when you have all of this, and I see it to a lot of people, every fight that you will be involved when you carry a gun, considered by the law like a gunfight. every fight that I will be involved and I carry knife, it's considered a knife fight. And it's no matter. One of my friends, he carry a knife. The knife is a folder. You don't open it. You don't open it. So imagine that that knife is a folder. And in the folder, you have a notch. So everything that this guy do to you, he's going and he do this. And he's going and he do this. And I told them, by the law, this could be a big problem. Because you do this, the guy take it away, he open. And now I have to fight against the knife. Because the thing that I carry, you know, it's like the terrorist idea. You bring the bomb, I bring the matches. This is the terrorist idea. If you look for September 11th, the terrorists didn't bring the bomb. The bomb was carried by other people, by the airplane. The terrorists just bring the matches. And it's the same here. Many times a guy that is good, he might disarming me. And now I am not a good knife person. And now I have a problem. So before you carry a gun or a knife, if you carry a gun, you need to be able to retain the gun. Every time I try to touch the gun, I have to know everything to retain the gun, everything that I need, not only these old grandma techniques. And you need to be strong enough to retain and to defend him, that if we fight in a parking lot now, first to be smart not to go into a fight, because, hey, this is my parking, this is your parking, and the guy took the gun. Now, to wait, let's say that you are Rambo, you kill him, you still have a problem. You still have a lot of problems. So when I carry a firearm, it's only when I need it. It means, first, I will never carry it the normal way. I like, for example, this kind of a carry. So even because people always look for the gun here, when my gun is here. Also, when I'm driving, I can always use my firearm. It depends for what need, for guarding a person, for guarding yourself, your family. But I tell you, I was in many bad countries, and I even was ended guns, and I prefer to do not take, because most of the situation that I was anticipate will be robbery. And for robbery, I will just give you the money. Even in Israel, in the last few years, the civilians that react for terrorist attack with a gun or a knife find themselves in a lot of problems later on. So I don't say that if I see a terrorist, he stay alive. I just say that that whole issue carry also liabilities issue and legality issues. So you must also consider this. And every time I go to the court and the judge asks me why you have a gun and a knife, what are you going to say? That you don't feel secure? It's like some system of Kali. I see them like Bob the Builder with 20 knives. What are you going to tell me if I arrest you as a police officer? That you are Bob the Builder? I mean, obviously for create a crime, you need the three elements. You need the tool, the gun, the bomb. You need the tool. You need the intent, like I'm going to kill him. And the third is to have the opportunity. So when you have a gun and a knife, you carry the tool, you have already the intent, because a guy that carry 5 knives, why you carry 5 knives? If he block my hand, I carry the second knife and I kill him with the second. I say that many times I see a lot of people, they carry 10 knives on them and a gun. And if you go to the court, what you going to explain to the judge that asking you? Are you going to tell him that you will go with 2 guns and 5 knives because you don't feel secure? I mean, the countries that you can act like this are maybe very small third world countries, and even then, I would not suggest this to people because you will get killed. But all of this Rambo attitude, I think that it's not a self-defense. Self-defense is first to be humble, to be very easygoing. And when you go with 5 knives, why you need 5 knives if you're not good with one? It's like in my unit, one day they give us a magazine for the handgun. We had 17 bullets in the handgun. and they give us a magazine of 30. And many soldiers say it's not, because it's not practical. It's very difficult to maneuver a gun with a magazine like that. And they say, if I don't get the enemy in the first 10 bullets, the fight is over anyway. And it's the same with a gun. A good knife man, it's the same with a knife. A good knife man don't need 10 knives. It's more like fancy. I have this knife and I have that knife. And I can understand it from a combat zone, but I can understand that it's also going to create you a lot of problem to explain it ever as a self-defense. It's ever. You cannot explain to any court that you go with 2 or 3 knives because of a self-defense. And again, the issues of self-defense, it's also, remember, depend. I'm not a racist, but the word is racist. It's depend on your color and who you are. If you are very well connected in many countries, you can kill a person and get free. And we don't talk only about the third world. We saw it also with O.J. Simpson, that he was convicted in the court that because of the property, because of money, but in the court of the justice, he is set free because there were not evidence. And again, court is a big issue. When you perform self-defense, you must do anything to save your life. There's no doubt, even if you have to kill somebody and later on defend it on the court. But when you educate people to do mistakes from a self-defense point of view, carry 5 knives on them as the ego, and I can do this and I can do that, you actually prepare them to fail in the court. If they carry 1 knife, they can much explain better the way of self-defense. Because if I carry a knife because I work like a construction and I do a lot of the construction and I need the knife for this and that, and you can get out of it. But when you start to carry all of those evil knives that can only kill, like Karambi knife, that it's most funny that people call it tactical. That knife is totally not tactical, because as a soldier, I have primary weapon, I have secondary weapon is the handgun, and if my primary don't work and my secondary don't work, and you depend on the knife, it's only people that play in the movies. You know, they saw too many Chuck Norris movies, and it's not reality. They never been a soldier or a real soldier. I know a lot of Israelis coming to outside the country and says, I come from a unit that they send us behind the enemy lines only with a knife, and okay, it's not exist. And it's the same for me when I saw all of those methods with the 5 knives, 10 knives. In the ancient days when we've been medieval and I had a big sword and a knife, even the samurai, when we had 2 swords, but later on it became illegal. And today when you have to defend yourself in a court, I will not recommend anybody to carry more than 1 knife. And to remember that any knife fight, any fight that you will be, once you carry a knife, any fight that you will be involved and the police come, it was a knife fight. It's no matter if you pull it out, if you didn't pull it out. And this is why when the guy made a knife like this to create those kind of pain, I told him that it's a mistake, because for this, you have your thumb. You have your, so I can do it with my own fingers. And this is why a lot of systems, kung fu or karate, we train all of those things to make our knuckles so strong, so we can penetrate even bones. You know, like with the fingers or with the power. That's why we did all of those training with sand and small stones and all of these things. So self-defense, I don't carry anything. I always say, you carry the gun, it's okay. I will disarming you if I need it for self-defense.
What you can recommend to the people that can encounter such situations that we discussed now? What they can do in such situations?
Like he been at assault with a knife and a gun.
Yes.
Or a gun.
Yes.
The first is to cooperate. And the second is always to keep the surprise for him. For example, not to show any sign that you might do something until the moment that you're gonna do it. Because if you lose the surprise, you already lost 99% of your winning. And this is why I don't want to telegraph and have. You know that I train kung fu or karate or knife system or whatever. You should look cooperative with him. You should look for him obey. For example, he put the knife and I'm doing this move. Look at my body language. It's like a rap singer, like, you know, or your body language is like this. But this is much better, isn't it? This is much better. Same like boxing. So I hide my neck, but I don't do this. This ego, this humble, but combative. So when he come with a knife, okay. You see, I'm trying to reach near to the weapon naturally and to do. As long as it's money, we got it. As long as it's rape and she is looking good, it's okay. But if it's him and he want to rape, I will react. If he want to kidnap me, I will react. For example, if I can hear people on the other room, I will cooperate because it will take me to a place that if I react, I have more chance to stay alive. But if I'm in a parking lot, in a supermarket, and he put the knife for a woman or for me, and he say, get in the car. So, okay, I'm doing it. And then I'll do whatever I do, you know? So I will use the surprise. I will cooperate, but in the last moment, I will surprise him. Because if I get in the car and he take me out, I change the scene. I change from one scene to another. Now he take me to a wood. I'm done. Why in the supermarket, other people coming with a grocery, they're going to put it in the car. Somebody might see me. Even if he stab me, I escape. I might run and get some help. Somebody's going to. But when we drive and now we are in the middle of the wood, he's the man now. And I'll not be able to do anything. I mean, always the surprise. Yes, it could be that also in the middle of the rape, you can push finger in the eye, or not every person can do it. I read that some women, even that they get raped, they say, I couldn't put the finger in his eye. And this is again, I don't blame them because there's nothing, but it's not a normal to do what some people can do. You know, I can put my finger and take it out, and I done it in my life. I took a guy outside, and some people cannot do it. Why? I have no answer. Maybe the answer is because I grew up with a crazy brother that beat me up since age 0. So you develop it, you know. You need to survive for anything, for play with a toy, so it make you, you know, what don't kill you make you stronger. I'm not sure too, but somehow I got stronger. My advice to people, as long as it's money or something that you can give it up, because the risk, even if, look, put it iceberg, okay? Look, step only to here. Look, disarming. Step again. Yeah? Disarming, yeah? Step again. I can do it blindfold almost, you know, like I can do it blindfold, I can do it too. But ask me the money. Give me the money. Okay. I will not even try. And this is where people forget that even if I can perform it, better to give you the money and get away from the scenario than all of these that when I did it, I did a small cut, and the cut make some infection in my hand that can lead to my death. And I have a friend on a wheelchair, ride a motorcycle. He go down a little bit with the motorcycle, his knee touch some metal and he gets scratched. He didn't feel nothing. He gets scratched from the road. And now he's on a wheelchair because some kind of virus, I don't know what, I'm not a doctor, but you have tetanus, you have hepatitis B, hepatitis C. What you think is a surgeon that he cleaned the knife before he cut you? So even a small cut is not something that I want. For example, many times when people have a knife or a chalk, you will see bite, bite, bite. Okay, if you have rabies, you can bite. Me, I don't bite my enemies. I know that this is the most strong muscle, mostly by blah, blah, blah. But bite as a self-defense is a very dangerous. There's a police officer, I just put it on Facebook 2 weeks ago. She fight some homeless, spit on her. She had a small cut and she died because hepatitis B, hepatitis C. This blade, you don't know what it is. This guy that I fight with him, I will bite him only in emergency. If this is the only way, I will disarming this knife. If this is the only last way, and I disarming knife almost any position blindfold. Yeah, it's very easy. Yeah, for the games, and I love to play the games. But when it comes to reality, where's your mind? And that's where your mind must be strong. What this guy want? Money? Take it away. Look, I will ask, not a knife. Ivan and me, we fight. And Ivan, he pushed me like this. And then he slapped my face. No, slap. No, slap. Slap. I don't care. And I can kill him. And I don't care. So slap like this. Don't be ashamed. It's okay. This is the problem, the ego. And this is why some of my drills, we stand and I slap him and slap me. Yeah. So you don't take it personally. It's nothing. It's a business. What he mugged me with a knife. Why should I even try? Take the money, go. Because mostly he's a narcotic. He's gonna kill himself. Why should I kill him? Give him the money so he buy drugs and kill himself. I will react only in terrorism, life risk, and many times I will also escape. And many times you will see, because people that teach self-defense to civilians, they forget it. And they come with their ego, and everyone want to show I was a commando. This commando my butt, you know? Because you're a civilian. You hear shooting. Open the door over there and escape. What? Leave it to the police. Leave it to counter-terrorist units. We say that all the heroes in Israel, they lay down 1 meter in the ground. So we educate people not to be a hero. I work in a bank, he put a gun, he said, give me the money. Take everything. It's not even mine. But people want to be a hero. In Serbia, there was some martial artist, and there was a robbery in the bank. And the guy tried to jump on the robber, and he get shot severe. He stay alive, but he was severe injury. And this is stupid. Plus, he risked the life of the other people. He's a bank robbery. I tried to fight with him, and then a kid gets shot, or some other person. Why? Let him take the money. My advice to people: self-defense is not. You know, people always. I love the self-defense people because they're always loaded with ego. When you tell them, okay, you feel so good, let's go. Let's go to the. Oh, this is sport. Okay, go to UFC. Go to MMA fight. Go to Thai box fight, go to judo match, sambo match. Prove yourself first that you can fight sport. Then we talk about the street. But when they say, oh, these people are only in the ring, in the street. Yeah, it's very, again, strong muscles of talking. What do you mean in the streets? I'm 55 years old. What? We live in different streets. He lived in Mexico City. I've been in Acapulco, the biggest gang fights there in Acapulco. I go like this in Acapulco. Nobody attack you. I believe that if you have some kind of spiritual, nobody will attack you. I mean, it's like a fish, you know, like that you fish. Of course, there's a situation that somebody might attack you. Of course, there's a situation that somebody, he do this, you block this, he do this. Yeah, then you're dead. Okay, what do you think? And we all stay alive for a lifetime. I managed to do it to 55, and I've been in a lot of risky places, and I'm not living paranoid world, you know, paranoid life. Enjoy life. This is martial art. I want to show you something because you asked me to. Look, Many times when I finish to teach seminars, I take the gun, I do this and I do that. And I show what you do now. And all the students always, wow, when this is the most stupid, because all he needs is to crash his body this way and the gun is trapped. And any bullet that go out, I get malfunction. All he need to do is to move and he break my arm. And for example, many times the things looks much more sophisticated because you try to study like a technique and not to study what we call a concept. To teach people concept, they don't want. They want you to decide for them. It's like many times people say, I want to be a soldier because they don't want to take decisions by themselves. They want somebody to tell them, sleep, get up, do this, do that. I think that if you are creative and if you understand the philosophy, which is the most important, and the concept, that's the best thing to hear a lot of teachers make your own concept, because what's worked for me will not work for him. And what worked for him will not work for him, for example. I show you. If he will do this with his father, just do this, like with the hand, who do you think going to be pain? Yeah, you, exactly. But look, if you do this, look. Why? It's years of training. There's no way. I just had a student that he told me that if I stab him like this, he will block and hit me on my hand. And I was laughing. I said, okay, do it. Do it as much as you want. But if you do the same technique, it's going to pain to you. You understand? Because the body condition is different. So the technique good for me, they're not the technique good for him. And they are not the technique good for you, and they are not technique for you as a woman, as a female, or as a handicap in a wheelchair. This is why we teach concept. The concept stay the same. There's economy of motion. All the concept is the same. But the concept must be adjusted for him, or for me. So thank you very much.